Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Jacksonville Buzz. I am your host, Adrienne Houghton, and joining me once again is my trusted steed, Tom Reber. Good morning.
Good morning.
And in the studio today, we have Mr. Alan Dial, and he is the founder of StaffDx, and we're going to find out all about that company.
Yes.
Good morning, Alan.
Yeah, good morning.
So tell me, what is StaffDx?
Well, first of all, I'm just grateful to be here. I think what you're doing here is amazing. It's really powerful for small businesses like myself to get exposure and content. So thank you for the time. StaffDx as a company is, our mission is to provide, well, let me establish a little bit of the kind of background business case. So healthcare is run by clinical leaders, right? They came up as clinicians, right? But healthcare is a very big business, as we all know, and it's very broken right now. And so, they've never learned or been trained. There's no formal programs to educate them on the business side of the care delivery that we do well. And so our goal is to simplify through automation and leading edge technologies the business side of care delivery for clinicians to be successful and give them more time back at the bedside taking care of patients, which is the real priority.
Yeah.
What was it that led you to create this company?
I'd been consulting across the country, really on margin improvement, so growing revenues or improving cost containment, expense reductions for hospitals, and that's my day job. And I would sit with clinical leaders and I'd ask them if they had a tool or anything, and they'd say no. If you look at labor accounts for 40 to, I've seen as high as 73% of the total operating expense for a hospital. Yeah. You're talking hundreds of millions of dollars a hospital. And they have no tools to actually, the clinical leaders who have the greatest sphere of influence in the fiscal performance of a hospital don't have tools to do their jobs. They have reports that say you did good or you did bad. So they're always looking in the rear view for the greatest expense, which is human capital.
So you're an optimizer. You're able to optimize their back shops and give them more time doing what they need
What's
to do.
most important, right?
Yeah.
They're bogged down right now in front of a PC trying to figure out the business. And
So what's really been your biggest challenge with this company?
honestly, telling the story. I mean, really, that's why I'm so blessed to be here, because it's I can get in front of people, but the first part is telling the story and creating visibility of how we differentiate ourselves and how we're not old healthcare. And then I'll be honest, competing priorities with healthcare executives, they just don't have time. And so, and couple that with reservation to make expensive decisions sometimes on investments in the business side. Healthcare is really good at investing in the clinical side of care delivery. It's not as good at investing in the business side of the care.
Wow. So you're able to optimize the companies. What's the number one thing that you come in and say, hey, this is a game changer for you? How do you come up with that?
Well, what we want to do is, I'm sure you've heard in the media, the news outlets, that there's a big deficit of caregivers across the country. I mean, we're actually bringing people over on visas from Philippines and other countries to supplant the voids that we have in our staffing. My argument is that I do it through a different lens. I'm suggesting that we need to do a better job of how we manage what we have. And if you can do that, because we've never done that in healthcare, if we can do that, that's the quickest way to put a tourniquet on the bleeding, because bringing people from overseas and trying to, there's federal and state grant money for pushing more nursing students through school. Those are all long lead time items. If you want to impact financials and quality of life for the caregivers now, then we got to do a better job of managing what we have.
What do you think has been your biggest success with StaffDx to date?
So StaffDx, we just wrapped up our proof of concepts with one client. God willing, we have a contract we're expected to get signed today. So this is good day. The biggest success we had was that proof of concept. So we came in hospital for 60% of their operating expense, had no budget for it. So if you don't have I always say, one of my favorite quotes by Lewis Carroll is, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. If I don't have a budget, I don't understand what the target is, how do I hit it? So they're hemorrhaging money in staffing, and then you couple that with they don't have any tools to manage it. So we did a proof of concept, built them a budget, deployed the software, and then our offering includes one-on-one coaching with seasoned healthcare executives that have fought in the trenches, and they really understand our vision. And so we couple them in, we further develop the leader and how to manage and what are the tactics to employ for their department. an inpatient medical surgical unit is not a laboratory. So they're different dynamics. And so at the end of that, we were able to operationalize $6.2 million of margin improvement in 5 months.
Holy cow. Now that's a number.
Now that's a success.
That's a success story.
There's a 12-to-1 return on investment.
That's what I'm talking about.
Alan, it's an absolute pleasure. I can't believe the time is up. There's so much I want to ask you, especially about the future for StaffDx. So come back.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Come back
You'll have me, I'll come.
and tell us what's going on and how your future's going to be.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Alan. And don't forget, if you'd like to know any more information, you can also find it at dailynewsnetwork.com.